there was more than enough. And this was a miracle. Now, we don't know what kind of miracle. There's lots of debate about this miracle. There are those who are literalists who believe that the food was like manna from heaven, like the food that God provided to the Israelites in that legend of their time between Egypt and entering the Promised Land. The food appeared, but it was magic. There's some people that say it was more of a human response. People saw Jesus and the disciples sharing what little they had, and so they took out of hiding what little bit they had brought for themselves, and they shared with the people around them, and then they shared with the people around them, and everyone shared, and everyone ate. Those are both miracles. They're both extraordinary happenings. Now, I don't think it really matters how it happened. I don't think it matters if it was magic or if it was human doing that made the miracle. I don't care if it's even a true story. It was so important to tell this story that it's the only miracle story that appears in all four Gospels. This was an important one that the Gospel writers felt the followers of Jesus needed to know. And why was that? We have to remember that Matthew was writing his gospel 40 to 50 years after Jesus lived. And in the meantime, the Romans had destroyed Jerusalem, had destroyed the temple, their center of worship, their center of identity as Jewish people. And all Jewish people, remember, the followers of Jesus were still Jews at this point. There were no Christians yet. They were all struggling to figure out what it meant to be a people of faith, to have an identity as a people. And the writer of Matthew looked back at this story of Jesus and said, well, here's one clue he gave us. We need to share our abundance, even when it feels like we don't have much to share at all. It's hard for us in America to understand need and hunger. Yes, the scandal of this affluent society is that we do have poverty, we do have people that are hungry. But for the most part, it's hard for us to understand what it feels like to not know if I'll have enough food to live another day, if I'll have enough food for my children to live another week. And so we've spiritualized that message of the bread. We've taken that bread and made it spiritual bread. And it's okay. Every scripture, every bit of scripture has layers of meaning. But sometimes I think we forget that what those people in the wilderness needed at that moment was food. They were sick people, Jesus was healing them, and they were hungry people. There was no middle class at this time. There was a few rich people and everybody else. And these people that were following Jesus, they very well could have been even farther down. They probably didn't know if they had enough food to eat the next day. They were hand to mouth. They ate day, one meal a day. They skipped days. So when Jesus provided food, he was providing something for them. Spiritual, yes. But you got to be alive to get that spiritual essence too.